Hello again, friends. Welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. Thanks for stopping by. Robert Max here. Hope everyone's doing well. This is episode 90, and it's Uptempo Basketball on the table from the Clark and Addison Gaming Company and creator Brian Haverkamp. Game 4 of the 1974-75 New York Nets project. The Nets have come back home from their short road trip, and they will face the Memphis Sounds tonight here at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It's Wednesday, October 23rd, 1974. The Nets will be home for one more game when George Gervin, the Iceman, and the San Antonio Spurs come to town on Friday. And then they'll head off on a 4-game road trip through Middle America and heading towards the West Coast. So the Nets are 2-1 after the short 2-game road trip and the home loss to the Utah Stars in their opener. The Sounds are 1-2. Now I have an asterisk there because that is their real life record. We're not tracking the other teams besides the Nets because these are the only games we're playing. And in real life on this day, the Nets won this game 104-96. Okay, we used a 3 percentile dice, and I used a black one for my tenths when we need that. I often roll all 3, but sometimes I won't. Okay, opening tip-off goes to the Nets. So the Nets come down for the first possession. And it's a 21. And that is a free throw attempt. That free throw attempt is coming from Billy Paltz, center. He is a 74.8. He misses the first one and makes the second one. And the Nets are on the board. 1-0. First possession for Memphis. It's a 3-point attempt, and that is coming from Stu Johnson. He will be defended by Ed Manning, who is a -6. Stu Johnson is a 30.8. That makes him a 24.8. And he takes the shot from the arc, and it bounces around and falls out. And the Nets take the ball. And they proceed to turn it over. This is a 2-point basket coming from Stu Johnson. And the Sounds take a 2-1 lead with 10:40 left in the first quarter. This is a 2-point basket for the Nets, and that's going to come from Brian Taylor. So it's 3-2 in favor of the Nets. Next possession for Memphis. It's a 2-point attempt. And that attempt is coming from George Carter. He will be defended by Julius Erving, who's a -9. Carter's a 44. That makes him a 35. And he hits the bucket. So it's now 4-3 in favor of the Sounds with 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's a 2-point attempt for the Nets, and that is coming from the Doctor. He will be defended by George Carter, who's a +4. Erving is a 51.5. That makes him a 55.5, and he misses. So the Sounds continue to lead 4-3 with 9:40 left in the first period. This is a 2-point basket. And that comes from George Carter. And it's now 6-3. Forgot to move the ball. 6-3 in favor of the Sounds. It's a 2-point attempt for the Nets. Coming from the Doctor once again. He will be defended by George Carter with his +4. Makes the Doctor a 55.5, and he hits this one. And it's now 6-5 in favor of the Sounds with 9 minutes to go in the first. It's a free throw attempt, and that is coming from George Carter. He is a 79.5. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So Carter with 6 points here in the first, and it's 8-5 in favor of the Sounds. Nets come down the court. It is a 2-point basket, and that comes from Al Skinner. So it is now 8-7 with 8:20 in the quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8. And this is an and one. That is coming from 46. Stu Johnson. So Stu Johnson completes the 3-point play. And it is 11-7 in favor of the Sounds. 8 minutes to go in the first. Here's a basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Julius Erving. So it's 11-9 with 7:40 in the first period in favor of the Memphis Sounds. This is a 2-point attempt for Memphis. And that is coming from Tom Owens, the center. He will be defended by Billy Paltz, who is a -7. Owens is a 52.8. That makes him a 45.8. And he makes the basket. (13-9) in favor of Memphis. Nets come down the court. It's a free throw attempt, and that's coming from Billy Paltz. He is a 74.8. He makes the first one and makes the second one. So it's 13-11 in favor of Memphis with 7 minutes to go in the first period. It's a free throw attempt for Memphis. This is coming from Mel Daniels, who's a 63.4. He makes the first one, and he misses the second one. So it's 14-11 in favor of Memphis with 6:40 to go here in the first period. This is a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Larry Keenan. Keenan sinks the 2, and it's 14-13 in favor of the Sounds with 6:20 to go in the opening period. Sounds turn this one over. Nets come back down to their end of the court. And it is a 2-point basket. That is coming from the Doctor. Erving with 6 here in the first period so far, and the Nets take the lead 15-14. Here's Memphis, and they turn the ball over again, and it's 5:20 now in the opening period. Nets ball, and they turn it over. Down to 5 minutes. Nets lead 15-14, excuse me. Here's a 2-point basket for Memphis, and that is coming from Mel Daniels. And the Sounds take the lead 16-15 with 4:40 left in the opening period. Here's a basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Billy Paltz, the Whopper. And the Nets are ahead again, 17-16, 4:20 to go. And that's a turnover for Memphis. Nets come back down. This is a 2-point attempt, and that is coming from Larry Keenan. He will be defended by Stu Johnson, he's a +3. Keenan is a 50.9, becomes a 53.9. And Keenan misses that shot. And Memphis comes back the other way. 3:40 to go in the first period. The Nets lead 17-16. This is a free throw attempt for Memphis. And that is coming from George Carter, who's a 79.5. He misses the first one and makes the second one. And we are tied at 17 with 3:20 to go in the opening period. This is a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Al Skinner off the bench. Nets lead 19-17 with 3 minutes to go here in the first. Free throw attempt again for Memphis. This time it's coming from Mel Daniels. He's a 63.4. Makes the first one and makes the second one. And we are tied again at 19 with 2:40 in the first. This is a 2-point basket, and that's going to come from Brian Taylor. Nets back on top, 21-19 with 2:20 to go. This is a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Mel Daniels, having a pretty good first quarter. And we are tied again at 21 with 2 minutes to go in the opening period. It's a free throw attempt from the Nets. That is coming from John Williamson. First time we're seeing Super John in this game. He is an 83.7. He makes the first and makes the second. So his first 2 points. And the Nets are back on top, 23-21 with 1:40 remaining. This is a 2-point basket for Memphis, and that is coming from Tom Owens. And we are tied again at 23 with 1:20. And that is a 2-point attempt for the Nets coming from Bill Melchioni. He will be defended by Chuck Williams, who is a +6. Melchioni's a 50. He makes him a 56. And Melchioni misses that shot. There's a minute to go. And we are tied at 23. Here come the Sounds. It's a 2-point attempt. And that is coming from center Tom Owens. He will be defended by Willie Sojourner, who's a -6. Owens is a 52.8, makes him a 46.8, and it rattles around and drops in for Owens. And the Sounds take a 25-23 lead with 40 seconds to go here in the opener. It's a 2-point attempt coming from John Williamson. Super John will be defended by Larry Finch, who is a +7. Williamson's a 48.6, makes him a 55.6, and he makes the basket. And we are tied at 25 with 20 seconds to go in the opening period. And this is a 2-point basket for Memphis coming from George Carter. And it's 27-25. The final possession, the Nets come down. And it's going to be a basket. And that is coming from the Dr. Irving with his 8th point in the period. And we are tied at 27. I'll get the first period totals and be right back. All right, we're back for the second period. Tied at 27. And the tip-off goes to the Nets. They come down the court. And this is going to be a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Larry Keenan. And the Nets take a 2-point lead, 29-27. Here comes Memphis. This is a free throw attempt. That's coming from Chuck Williams. He's an 81.5. He makes the first one and makes the second one. So we're tied at 29 early here in the second period. All right, here come the Nets. It's a free throw attempt coming from Brian Taylor. He's a 76.5. He makes the first and makes the second. Nets lead 31-29 with 11:20 to go. It's a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from Hollis Jones. He is a 75.7. He makes the first one and makes the second one. And we are tied again at 31. Let's come down the court. It's a free throw attempt coming from Brian Taylor, 76.5. He makes the first one and makes the second one. So it's 33-31 in favor of the Nets. And Memphis turns the ball over. Nets come back down their way. And it's a free throw attempt again. And that is coming from Billy Paltz, who is a 74.8. He makes the first one. It rattles around and drops in. And he makes the second one. So the Nets now lead by 4, 35-31, with 10 minutes to go in the opening period, or excuse me, the second period. And this is a 2-point attempt coming from Hollis Jones. He will be defended by Julius Erving, who's a -9. Jones is a 47.7. He becomes a 38.7. And he misses that shot. Good defense from the doctor. And the Nets come back down their way, still leading by 4. It's a 2-point attempt for the Nets, and that is coming from Al Skinner, who is a 49, but he will be defended by Rick Mount, who's a -7. Well, both of those guys are -7. Or excuse me, a +7. So Skinner becomes a 56, and he makes the shot. So the Nets are now up by 6 with 9:20 to go. And this is going to be a basket for Larry Finch. And it's a 4-point lead, 37-33. Here come the Nets back down their way. It's a free throw attempt, and it's coming from Julius Erving. He's a 79.9. He misses the first one and misses the second one. And ball back to Memphis as they come back down with 8:40 to go, and they turn the ball over. Nets come their way again. It's another free throw attempt. This one's coming from Larry Keenan, who is, or excuse me, Larry Keenan, who is a 77. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So it's now 39-33 in favor of the Nets. 6-point lead with 8 minutes to go in the half. And this is going to be a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from Billy Shepard, who's a 72-2. He makes the first one and makes the second one. First points for Shepard here. And it's 39-35 with 7:40 to go. It's a 2-point basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Larry Keenan. And it's 41-35. Lead is back up to 6 with 7:20 to go in the first half. It's a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from center Tom Owens. He's a 75.7. First one rattles around and drops in. And he misses the second one. So it's a 5-point lead for the Nets as they come back down the court with 7 to go in the first half. Free throw attempt. And that's coming from Brian Taylor, who's a 76.5. He makes the first one. And misses the second one. So it's 42-36. 6-point lead, 6:40 to go. Memphis comes back down. And it's a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from Chuck Williams, who's an 81.3. He makes the first one and makes the second one. So it's 42-38, 4-point lead for the Nets with 6:20 to go in the first half. It's a free throw attempt. And that's coming from Julius Erving, who's a 79.9. First one rattles around and drops in. And the second one sinks. Irving's first 2 points of the second quarter. And it's 44-38 with 6 minutes to go. Nets lead. It's a 2-point attempt coming from Collis Jones. He will be defended by Julius Erving and a -9. Jones is a 47. Makes 47.7, makes him a 38.7, and he makes the shot. And it's now 44-40 in favor of the Nets with 5:40 to go in the half. Nets ball. And it's a 77, which is going to be a 2-point basket. And that is coming from Larry Keenan. Keenan has 8 points here in the second period. And it's 46-40 with 5:20 to go. Nets still lead. This is a 2-point basket for Memphis coming from George Carter. And it's now 46-42 in favor of the Nets. 5 minutes to go in half. Nets turn the ball over. 4:40 to go in the half. It's a 2-point attempt for Memphis coming from Stu Johnson. He will be defended by Larry Keenan, who's a -6. Johnson's a 46.1. Makes him a 40.1. He misses that shot. Good defense by Keenan. And the Nets come back the other way. Still leading 46-42. It's a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Bill Melchione. His first points of the game. Once again, I forgot to show the Nets points per game stats so far. I'll do that once again at the end of the video. All right, 4 minutes to go, and the Nets lead 48-42. Free throw attempt for Memphis And that's coming from George Carter, who is a 79.5. He makes the first one and misses the second one. So it's a 5-point lead for the Nets, 48-43, with 3:40 to go in the first half. And this is going to be a 2-point basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Brian Taylor. And it's now 50-43. The lead is up to 7. 3:20 to go in the first half. This is going to be a basket for Memphis, and it's coming from Rick Mount. I think it's the first time we've mentioned him. It's his first 2 points of the game, and it's a 5-point lead, 50-45, with 3 minutes to go in the half. The Nets come down, and they're going to score a basket, and that is coming from Larry Keenan, who's having a decent second quarter. And it's 52-45. 2:40 to go. Memphis comes down. This is going to be a basket, and it's coming from Chuck Williams. And it's 52-47, 5-point lead for the Nets with 2:20 to go in the first period. This is a free throw attempt, and it's coming from Brian Taylor, excuse me. And he's a 76.5. He makes the first one, and he misses the second one. So it's 53-47, 6-point lead, 2 minutes to go. Memphis has the ball, and it's a free throw attempt. And that's coming from George Carter, who's a 79.5. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So it's 49-53. Yes, 49-53. It's a 4-point lead for the Nets with 1:40 to go. It's a basket, and that's coming from Julius Irving. Irving's been kind of quiet here in the second, but it's now 55-49. The lead is back to 6 with 1:20 to go in the first half. And this is a 3-point attempt, and that's coming from Billy Shepard. He will be defended by Bill Melchioni, who's a -3. Shepard is a 42. This makes him a 39. And from out at the arc, Shepard hits the 3. And it's now a 3-point game, 55-52, with a minute to go in the opening half. And the Nets turn the ball over. Here come Memphis down their end of the court. And what do they do but turn the ball over? There's 20 seconds to go here in the first half. And this is going to be a basket for the Nets. And that is coming from Bill Melchioni off the bench. And it's 57-52. It's a 5-point lead. Final possession of the first half goes to Memphis. And they turn it over, and the buzzer sounds. And I will be back in a few minutes after I total up the second period. All right, here we are back for the second half. Nets lead 57-52. And here's the tip-off to start the third. That goes to Memphis this time. They come down the court. And this is going to be a basket, and that's coming from Stu Johnson. And it's now 57-54, 3-point lead for the Nets. It's a basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Brian Taylor. So it's 59-54, 5-point lead. This is a 3-point attempt for Memphis again, and it's coming from Stu Johnson. He will be defended by Larry Keenan, who's a -6. Johnson is a 30.8. That makes him a 24.8. And he misses that shot. And the Nets go the other way. Here's a basket for the Nets, and that's coming from John Williamson, who's been pretty quiet this game so far. So it's now 61-54. Lead is up to 7. And Memphis comes down. It's a 2-point attempt. And that's coming from Stu Johnson, who will be defended by Larry Keenan, who's a -6. That makes Johnson a 40.1, and he misses the shot. Good defense by Larry Keenan. Nets come the other way with 10:20 to go. They lead 61-54. And this is going to be a free throw attempt coming from the Doctor. He's a 79.9 free throw shooter. He misses the first one, and he makes the second one. So the lead is now 62-54. It's an 8-point lead. 10 minutes to go here in the third. Here come the Sounds. This is going to be a basket, and that is coming from Mel Daniels off the bench. And it's 62-56. And here come the Nets with 9:40 to go in the third, and they turn the ball over. Memphis coming the other way. It's a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Larry Finch. And it's a 4-point lead for the Nets with 9 to go here in the third. This is going to be a basket, and that is coming from Super John Williamson. And it's 64-58, back up to a 6-point lead, 8:40 remaining here in the third. This is a basket for the Sounds, and it's coming from Stu Johnson. And it's now 64-60. Favor of the Nets with 8:20 to go. This is a basket, and this one is coming from Willie Sojourner off the bench. In for Billy Paltz. And it's 66-60. 6-point lead for the Nets with 8 minutes to go here in the third. Here's another basket for Memphis, and this one is dropped by George Carter. And it's 66-62 in favor of the Nets with 7:40 to go here in the third. Here's a basket, and this one comes from Julius Erving. And it's 68-62. Leads back up to 6. 7:20. And Memphis turns it over. Nets coming the other way. And we got a run. Our first run of the game. One rule change, one commissioner decision I've made. I am going to distribute points for the runs. It's not just going to go to the starting 5. I'm only 3 games in, so I don't think it'll skew the stats too much. But the Nets are rolling for a run here. And let's see, we got a 48. And that's a 9-2 run. We'll put our run card here. And let's see, a 57. We're using the middle column. So we got 2 to the shooting guard, and those are going to Al Skinner. So that's 2 for the Nets. 2 for the shooting guard. 2 for the small forward. And that's going to Wendell Ladner. A 3 to the power forward. And that is Larry Keenan. And lastly, 2 to the center, and that'll be Billy Paltz. So after that run, the Nets have 77, and we get 2 points for the point guard for the Sounds, and that'll be Billy Shepard. All right, so the run is over. Billy Shepard gets his 2 points here, and it is now 77 to 64, 13-point lead. We take 2 minutes off the clock, and the ball goes back to Memphis. We're down to 5 minutes here in the third period, and this is going to be a basket for the Sounds, and that's coming from Chuck Williams. So it's now 66 to 77, an 11-point lead with 4:40 here in the third. This is a 2-point attempt, and that is coming from Billy Paltz. He will be defended by Mel Daniels, who's a -3. He's the only minus player on the Sounds for defense. So Paltz drops to a 45-8, and he misses. Good defense from Mel Daniels. And we're going the other way with the Memphis Sounds with 4:20 to go. And it's a free throw attempt, and that's coming from center Tom Owens, who's a 75.7. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So the Sounds, going on a little run of their own, have dropped cut the lead to 9, and they trail 77-68 with 4 to go here in the third. Nets coming the other way. It's a 2-point basket, and that is coming from Billy Paltz, the Whopper. And it's 79 to 68. It's an 11-point lead again. 3:40 to go here in the third, and the Sounds turn it over. Here come the Nets the other way. And it's going to be a free throw attempt, and that's coming from Julius Erving. He's a 79.9. He makes the first one. Things have been a little shaky for Erving from the line in this game, and he misses the second one. So that trend continues. And it's now 80 to 68, 12-point lead, 3 minutes to go here in the third. It's a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from George Carter, who's a 79.5. He misses the first one and makes the second one. So it's now 80 to 69, an 11-point lead with 2:40 to go. Here come the Nets. It's a 2-point attempt, and that's coming from Larry Keenan. He will be defended by Julius Key, who is a +3. That makes Keenan a 53.9, and he makes the basket. And it's now 82 to 69. The lead's back up to 13 with 2:20 to go. And the Sounds turn it over. We got 2 minutes to go here in the third period. And here come the Nets. And they turn it right back over. So a couple of turnovers back to back. Sounds have the ball with 1:40 to go. And this is going to be a 2-point attempt. And it's coming from Stu Johnson, who will be defended by Ed Manning, who's a -6. So Johnson is a 46.1. That makes him a 40.1, and he makes the basket. He has 6 points here in the third quarter. And it's now 82 to 71, an 11-point lead for the Nets with 1:20 to go. This is going to be a basket, and it's coming from Larry Keenan, who's having one heck of a game. And it's 84 to 71. Leads back up to 13. 1 minute to go in the third. This is going to be a basket for Memphis coming from Mel Daniels off the bench. And And it is now, 84-73, 11-point lead for the Nets. 40 seconds to go. And it's going to be a 2-point basket for the Nets, and that is coming from Billy Paltz, who has 6 points here in the third. And it's 86-73, 13-point lead, 20 seconds to go here in the third. It's going to be a free throw attempt coming from center Tom Owens, who's a 75-7. He misses the first one and makes the second one. So it's 86-74, 12-point lead, final possession here of the third. And that is going to be a basket from Billy Paltz, the big man. Those are his 7th and 8th points here in the third period. And that's going to close it out. The Nets lead 88-74. It's a 14-point lead as we head to the final period. I'll be right back after I get the totals. Okay, here we are back for the final period. The Nets lead 88-74. It's a 14-point lead. And fourth period tip-off goes to the Nets. Come down for the first possession. It's a 2-point attempt, and that is going to be attempted by Bill Melchione, who will be defended by Chuck Williams, who's a +6. That makes Melchione a 56 even, and he drops it for the first points of the fourth. And it's 90-74. 11:20 to go. Nets have built up a 16-point lead. This is going to be a free throw attempt for Memphis, and it's coming from Chuck Williams, who's an 81.5. He makes the first, and the second one bounces out, but he does get one of them to drop, and it's now 90-75. 15-point lead for the Nets with 11:20 to go. This is going to be a basket, and that's coming from Brian Taylor. And it's 92-75. Whoops. Memphis ball. Forgot to move that. And this is going to be a and one. And this is coming from 66. Center Tom Owens. So a 3-point play for Owens there. And it's 78-92, 14-point lead for the Nets with 10:40 to go. This is a free throw attempt coming from Billy Paltz, who's a 74.8. He makes the first and makes the second. So 10:20 to go, and it's 94-78. 10 minutes to go. And 94 is going to be a 3-point attempt for Memphis, and that's coming from Stu Johnson. He will be defended by Larry Keenan, who's a -6. Johnson is a 30.8. That makes him a 24.8, and he misses that one. And I forgot to move the ball again. There's 9:40 to go, and the Nets lead 94-78, 16-point lead. And this will be an and one for the Nets, and that's coming from Billy Paltz. So Paltz gives the Nets 97 points, and they now lead by 21 with 9:20 to go. Memphis has the ball. Is that correct? 97-78? Yes, 21. Or 19, excuse me. So 94 will be a three-point attempt again for Memphis. They're trying to get back in this game. And it's going to be Larry Finch, and he will be defended by Super John Williamson, who's a -2. Larry Finch is a 37.7. He becomes a 35.7, and he misses that shot. And we're down to 9 minutes to go. Nets come the other way. Another @1 and 1, excuse me, for the Nets. And it's Larry Keenan. And the Nets are at 100. It's now become a 22-point lead, 100-78, with 8:40 to go. And we got a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from Mel Daniels, and Daniels is a 63.4. He makes the first shot, and he misses the second. So it's 100-79. And the Nets come the other way with 8:20 to go in the game. And they turn the ball over. Here comes Memphis. Sounds come down, and they proceed to turn it back over to the Nets. 7:40 to go in the game. And the Nets aren't finished. They turn it over again. 7:20 to go in the game. And this is going to be a basket for Memphis, and it's coming from Tom Owens, the center. So it's 100-81, 19-point lead for the Nets with 7 minutes to go. This is a free throw attempt coming from Al Skinner, or excuse me, no, Bill Melchione. He's a 79.5. He misses the first one and makes the second one. So it's 101-79. 22-point lead, 6:40 to go in the game. And this is going to be a basket for Memphis, and it's coming from Collis Jones off the bench. Haven't heard from him in a while. And it's 101-83. 6:20 to go in the game. This is a two-point attempt, and it's going to be coming from Brian Taylor. He'll be defended by Chuck Williams, who's a +6. Makes Taylor a 58.9, and he makes the basket. So now it's 103-83, 20-point lead for the Nets with 6 minutes to go in the game. This is going to be a free throw attempt for Memphis, and it's coming from Chuck Williams, who's an 81.5. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So it's 103-85, 5:40 to go in the game. It's going to be a basket, and it's coming from John Williamson. It's 105-85, leads back up to 20. 5:20 to go. And Memphis turns the ball over. Lead still at 20 for the Nets, 5 minutes to go. And this is going to be a basket, and that's coming from the Doctor. His first points here of the fourth quarter. And it's 107-85, 22-point lead. Memphis turns the ball over again. There's 4:20 to go. They're falling apart here. Yet the Nets turn it back over as well. And we got a free throw attempt for Memphis coming from George Carter, who's a 79.5. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So it is 107-87, 20-point lead for the Nets with 3:40 to go. This is a two-point attempt from Brian Taylor. He will be defended by Billy Shepard, who's a 5. So this makes Taylor a 57.9, and he misses the shot. So we're going the other way with 3:20 to go. Here comes Memphis. This is going to be a basket, and it's coming from center Tom Owens. So that makes the score 107-89 with 3 minutes to go. This is going to be a 2-point basket, and it's coming from the doctor. (109-89), 20-point lead with 2:40. And it's a 3-point attempt. Memphis has taken quite a few of these in this game. And it is coming from Billy Shepard, who's a 42, but he will be defended by Brian Taylor, who's a -6. That makes Shepard an even 36, and he misses the shot. And we're coming the other way with 2:20 to go. Nets in a 20-point lead. It's a 2-point attempt, and it's coming from Brian Taylor. He will be defended by Billy Shepard, who's a 5. That makes Taylor a 57-9, and he makes the shot. And it's now 111-89. 22-point lead with 2 minutes to go. It's a free throw attempt, and it's coming from Chuck Williams, who's an 81.5. He makes the first, and he makes the second. So it's now 111-91, 20-point lead for the Nets, 1:40 to go. This is a 2-point attempt coming from Larry Keenan. He will be defended by Stu Johnson, who's a +3. That makes Keenan a 53.9, and he sinks it. So it's now 113-91, 22-point lead, 1:20 to go. Most of the faithful have headed out to the parking lot. It's a free throw attempt, and it's coming from Tom Owens. He's a 75.5. He makes the first one, and he makes the second one. So it's 113-93. Leads 20 with a minute to go. This is going to be a basket, and it's coming from Billy Paltz. 115-93. Lead is 22. 40 seconds to go. And Memphis comes down. It's a 2-point attempt coming from George Carter. He will be defended by Julius Erving, who's a -9. That makes Carter a 35 even, and he misses. So we come back the other way. Final 2 possessions. You know, I should come up with some provision to maybe running the clock out when you have a big lead like this. But for stats' sake, we'll continue. And what do we got here? A 100. This is a 3-point basket, and it's coming from Wendell Leidner from downtown. All right, Wendell. Out at the arc, he hits the 3, his second 3 of the season. And it is 118-93. Talk about adding insult to injury. All right, final possession of the game. And that is a basket for Memphis, and it's coming from Mel Daniels off the bench. And that's going to do it. 118-95 in favor of the Nets. I'll be back to wrap this up after I total up the 4th period. All right, we're back to wrap this up. So the Nets win this one 118-95. In real life, they won this game 104-96. Somewhat similar. Let's look at the scoring. For Memphis, we had both Carter and Owens. George Carter and Tom Owens both had 19 points. They led Memphis. And for the Nets, the high man was Larry Keenan with 24. We had 4 players with 20 points or greater. Taylor had 20. Erving had 20. Of course, Keenan had 24. And Billy Paltz with 22. Pretty rounded performance for the Nets this time out. It wasn't just two guys. Little underwhelming for John Williamson. He only had 10. And the only player for the Nets who did not score was Ed Manning. We saw Leitner hit one out, from out at the arc, and plus he had another basket, and that gave him 5. Wendell Leitner's like a kind of a favorite of mine. If you're an ABA, enthusiast, all about Leitner and the type of player he was, but more importantly, he was there basically to protect Julius Erving, but more importantly, what kind of a guy he was, and he sadly died in a plane crash. I believe it was at the end of this season, between this season and the final ABA season. He wasn't with the Nets in actuality at this point in the year. I don't think they acquired him until after the new year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he certainly wasn't with the Nets for Game 4. But, basing the playing time on minutes for the whole season, he had enough minutes to make the top 10 players. So anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. The Nets win this one, 118-95. They go to 3-1. They got a big game coming up at Friday at home against George Gervin and the San Antonio Spurs before they go on a 4-game road trip. That's going to do it for this episode. If you hung around for this whole game or if you just checked out part of it, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And until next time, take care.